What is up? What is up? What is up? Good morning. Welcome to Friday. It is August the 19th. My name is Aaron Dwyer, and I'm one of the owners of Exit Realty Lake Country. If you guys didn't know this, we are up early on a Friday morning. It is, 6:39. Sorry for being a little bit late this morning. I'm still trying to get my morning routine down. So it's very efficient, and I seem to be running late. Good. So we're working on it. Happy Friday, Vanessa. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, y'all, man, what a great couple days this has been. Good morning, Anna Davis. Millie, I think I see you're watching. Morning, y'all. I hate that first cup of coffee when I make the coffee too weak. I'm just not a fan of weak coffee, but I'll make it. It'll be better. We have company, so we have Halston Sip and See tomorrow, which is everybody's going to come by and get to see that baby Halston, and I guess like the mafia families pay their respects to the new baby. Good morning, Lynn. But it'll be super fun. So we've got Papa and Grams in. That's Christy's dad and stepmom. They're in, and Christy's grandmother's here as well. So we get to take a 5-generation picture, which is super super cool, man. Just to think that you got 5 generations under the same roof is a really, really neat thing. And for somebody, good morning, Michelle. I guess for me, just because I've never really, my family and kind of how I grew up in family, it was important. And I guess it was super, super important to the older generations, but like my mom and dad weren't that big on, my dad wasn't for sure, real big on the family. He had a really rough childhood, and so he wasn't real big on family, but my mom was. My mom was pretty big on family, but but this family, Christy's family, man, it's so cool to watch them and to watch how much they love each other, and to watch how they support each other, and to watch what they do for each other. It's a really refreshing thing to see her family and what they do. So we're excited to have Pop and Grams and Meemaw here. Mama's here too. So we got Mama. Mama's in the house. Actually, she's not in our house, but she's over at her place, the other place over in Hartwell. So that's super cool. Man, gonna have a great day, great weekend. Super, super fun, man. I've had a great morning. I got up this morning at 4:45 and went for my run walk. I'm still walking kind of thing. Still really embracing that suck. I'm living that book right now, because I said it yesterday, the other day in the meeting, man, at 50, it's super hard to get started back being physical, being physically active. And it's a lot different at 50 than it was at 23, 24, but we're doing it. We're getting on it, and back at it this morning. One thing I want to encourage you guys, and we didn't talk about it much at the meeting. Well, let me back up. I just want to reflect on the last couple of days. Probably from Wednesday, Wednesday, the meeting in Madison. If you guys weren't there at the meeting in Madison, we had 2 or 3 new faces. We had 2 new agents join the company that they came back that day, and they're like, man, this is awesome. And so we're growing, we're growing with the right people. I think I said this. I don't know if I said this to a group of people, and I obviously don't remember who I said it to, but it almost feels like we're trading. We're the new players we're picking up are more experienced. They are, I can't help but believe that the right things are happening at the right time. The right people are coming at the right time. This timing is absolutely perfect. I can't help but believe that what's going on right now is and I used the word yesterday, catapulting this company to this next spot, catapulting Exit Realty Lake Country, catapulting all of our performance, catapulting us to that next spot. So I'm super excited about that, and it kind of makes me want to. Some of the things I'm going to talk about this morning. I'm starting a new book, obviously. Since I finished up the 5 a.m. Club, I saw that some other folks had finally got their copy of the 5 a.m. Club. I'm not joking, man. When you get this book and you start reading it, it's going to be really hard to put down. So just understand that's what you're going to be going through. This is going to be really tough for you to put down. Oh, by the way, because we have all the people in the house and everybody's upstairs sleeping, that's why I'm down here. So hopefully at some point there's a room that's right back over there that will be Christy and I's home office. Right now, where it is a bedroom by design, but we're going to make it an office. So hopefully that will be the spot at some point here in the next 24 months where we'll do these calls when we're in Hartwell, because it's going to be a super cool spot. But right now I'm kind of on the basement level. And good morning, Heather B. I can see your face and everything. I'm down here on the basement level, trying to keep it quiet. Although Carson's in there, but he's got to get up for school anyway, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him waking up. As I reflect on the last couple of days, starting at that meeting in Madison, and that full house. I mean, we had every chair was full. We are at a place in that meeting where 2 years ago it was just Michelle Tilson and Shannon Brooking sitting in that room, where it was just Michelle Tilson and Shannon Brooking, or it might have been just Shannon Brooking, or it might have been just Michelle Tilson. There was a time when they were the only two people that were sitting in that room. And y'all have heard me tell the story all the time, and you know that's discouraging. You know, we had a feeling, we believed something in our hearts, but what we were seeing with our eyes was not matching up to what we were seeing in our hearts. And so it was really a struggle in belief. And I credit Christy for keeping me sort of focused and keeping me heading in the right direction, because we all have those challenges where our ego wants to say, you know, that small self, your ego self wants to say, well, it's not working. You know, what you're doing is not working, and what you're saying is not resonating, and you're just not who you think you are. I mean, you all those words that your ego self tells you, your lower self tells you. But Christy was such a great job. And we kind of talked about this in the meeting the other day. You know, sometimes you got to have somebody that pushes you past what you think, past what your ego tells you. You need to have a sounding board, a couple of people, things around you to help you grow that or help you get past that. Because yesterday, if Christy hadn't have done that, then yesterday wouldn't happen, right? We wouldn't have 30, 40 people in a sales meeting in Madison. We wouldn't have to start thinking about, okay, are we going to knock out this wall and extend this training room back? Are we gonna make the front part, put a wall over there and make that the training room, and make the training room a place for desks or a workspace? I mean, what are we going to start doing? How do we, y'all? Those are fantastic problems. When you got to go to the store to buy more pants because the pants that you've been wearing don't fit anymore, because they're falling off of you because you're getting skinny, that's a good problem. When you got to think about expanding your office and you got to make it a little bit bigger to accommodate the people that are coming, that's not a bad problem to have. I like those. I love those kinds of problems. So I'm so excited about where we're going. We'll outgrow Milledgeville. We're going to outgrow Madison. We're going to outgrow Hartwell. We're going to outgrow all of our offices, because what we're doing is right. What we're doing is just. What we're doing is exactly what this industry, exactly what people need is what we're doing. So my job in this whole thing, my job on Friday, the 19th of August, as we approach the last half, we're into the last half of the third quarter of the year. My job is to find ways to uncover ways to discover new paths to sort of help you guys see and help you guys go down. Wednesday's Madison meeting I thought was really, really good. And it's crazy how good that meeting was, considering sort of the friction me and Christy had that morning, sort of the friction that we had trying to figure out some things that morning. Even driving to Madison, there was friction. They were trying to find ways that two people fit. And and I don't know if you knew this or know this, but Christy's a D personality with a whole lot of I. Aaron's a D personality with a whole lot of I. And so sometimes when the D personality is really, really high and the I personality is really, really low, and all we care about individually is getting to our point and getting to our final destination and making the other person understand what we're saying, that becomes that becomes kind of this. There becomes a rub. And so Christy and I really have to be cognizant of that. And as we start to discuss things about, because I don't know if you knew this, but we don't always share the same opinion. She and I don't always agree on everything. We are a match made in heaven, but that doesn't mean we always agree. You and I, you, each one of you in this company, you're a match made in heaven. I mean, you're supposed to be here. Doesn't mean we're always going to agree. Doesn't mean that you're always going to look at Aaron and Christy and say, "Oh my gosh, what a great idea. Oh my gosh, they're fantastic. Oh my gosh, they're fabulous." There are going to be some days you're going to look at us and say, "Oh my gosh, these two are freaking crazy. Oh my gosh, I wish they'd get their crap together." I mean, those days happen for you. And I completely get it. So understand that when I look at that meeting on Wednesday, when I see all of your beautiful faces sitting in that meeting in Madison on Wednesday, when I'm seeing new faces where we have people that we're just introducing in this Exit Realty Lake Country way who've come from some other real estate company, and they come in here that first day. I mean, remember your first day. Vanessa Self, remember your first day. Lynn, remember your first day. Maybe not Lynn, because Lynn marches to, Lynn's pretty connected to what she's supposed to be doing. But I want you to try to think about, your first day walking into Exit Realty Lake Country, and we're saying all the things that we're saying, and you're like, are they for real? Is this legit? I mean, Anna Davis, I don't know how many cigarettes she probably smoked that day, but the first day we met her, I know they thought we were crazy. Hell, they had somebody that was with them when Anna came with Barbara and Joni. There was another agent that came with them. Actually, two more that we talked to that day. The first time that we met, one of them decided to stay where she was. She wasn't having any part of this. One of them came and gave it a shot, but she never could get past herself. She never could get past her ego. She never could get past her. So she left soon after she joined. But I can only imagine the conversations from those five ladies that first day on the way back north as they're driving in the car for an hour and a half, thinking, man, those two are nuts. Are y'all for real? I mean, you really want to do this? Do you think this is the place for real? I mean, imagine, go back to your first day. Go back to your first day when you first talked to Aaron and Christy, when you first got introduced to Exit Realty Lake Country, when that first conversation happened, and you were like, man, I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know if this is right. The question, the title of today was, what if it's true? What if it's true? And I want you to remember that question. I want you to just think about, what if it's true? Because every one of you who came to this company had that moment where you sat and your ego said, I don't know about this. It doesn't seem like it just doesn't, I don't know. I promise you, we all have I had a moment of puzzlement. I had a moment of puzzlement when I first got introduced to Exit. It took me about 4 months to make a decision, maybe 3 months to make a decision, because I wasn't convinced. I wasn't sure. I wasn't positively assured in my ego that Exit was a place for me. Fast forward 5 years, how much has my life changed? I mean, it's almost immeasurable how much my life has changed since I came to Exit in 2017. So when I look at that meeting on Wednesday and I see your beautiful faces and I try to understand that each one of you are at a different path, and I try to understand that some people aren't buying into what I'm saying. Some people are still resistant to what I'm saying. Some people are all into what we're saying. Some people are fully vested, and now they're experiencing those breakthroughs and hitting a wall, breaking a wall, hitting a wall, breaking a wall, getting to a barrier, pushing past a barrier. And now you're starting to build some momentum as you start to grow your not only your business, but yourself. You're starting to see the reflections in your spouse. You're starting to see the reflections in your kids as you progress, as you get better, as you start to knock down some of those walls. You're seeing the people around you get better. So I recognize that there are a lot of people in a lot of different places, and not everybody's in the same journey. But what if what we're saying is true? What if it's true? Because then I go to Wednesday night and we go to an event at Lake Oconee. And we came to Lake Oconee in 2019. Honestly, who said that? Hey, Jolie, good morning. I don't know who this is. Hang on a second. Oh, there's Anna's. That was one time I didn't think. I just went with what my heart said. It didn't make the most sense, but I knew it was something special. Every one of you, I promise you, every one of you had that moment. It is when you're about to do something fantastic, when something great is about to happen to you. We all have those moments where the ego are there's a word. Hey, Melanie, good morning. There's a word in this book that I'm about to share with you that describes exactly what I'm talking about. Counterfeit. That's what the word is. It just came to me. This thing that I've created, right? This thing that Aaron Dwyer has created, this guy who wears, has to wear the same brand. Like if I wear Nike shoes, I got to wear Nike socks and Nike shorts and Nike shirt and Nike hat. And I can't mix my brands. The guy who wears golf shirts just about everywhere he goes, the guy who likes to have, custom fitted suit jackets, the guy who likes to wear blue jeans and boots, because I think that guy that I've created, this thing that I have created around my true self is just a counterfeit self. It's just a shell. That's a result of all the things that people have told me they like me to wear. It's all the things that people have told me, hey, you look good in that. It's all the things people have told me that in this Western culture, me being born in Nashville, Tennessee in 1972, being born to Butch and Sylvia Dwyer and going to school where I went to school and being where I was being, all those things have helped create this counterfeit self, this thing, this ego, this thing that if I do it the right way, you're going to like me. That if I look the right way, you're going to like me. If my breath doesn't stink and I stay in shape and I wear the right clothes and I drive the right car and I do all these things, that you're going to like me. And that's how we live our lives for a large portion of our lives. We just want to be accepted. We just want to be accepted. What if it's all true? What if what I'm telling you is all true? What if it's all true? Because when I look at Wednesday night and we come to Lake Oconee a few years ago, completely God. I'm talking about a series and a collection of God winks that rival anything else. We end up opening an office in Lake Oconee, and in the amount of time it would take you to go to Publix and buy a loaf of bread and drive back home. Now, keep in mind, we have been talking about opening a Mount Juliet office in Tennessee, where we are. We've been talking about opening that office for months prior. And every time we tried something, it was a door. Every time we tried something, it was a wall. Every time we asked about something, it was a no. Just block. No, not doing it. Can't do it. Not going to happen. Every single time. Every time. So we get to Lake Oconee for not for no other purpose than coming to a listing appointment that Christy had, going to an April sunrise service, coming and hanging out down here a little bit at the Ritz-Carlton, because who would want to hang out at a Ritz-Carlton, right? I mean, who doesn't want to hang out at a Ritz? Heather B, right? The Ritz-Carlton in Lake Oconee, if you've not been, and this is a complete, I was driving down the road yesterday, leaving Madison, and I saw Christy's computer, and she's looking at the Ritz, and she's looking for dates for stuff. So something's coming. I don't know what's coming, but something's coming, and it's going to be really, really cool. So we go to the Ritz. We hang out at the Ritz. We leave the Ritz. And I mean, it's just, y'all, it's everything that this Aaron, this counterfeit self, this thing that Aaron's created, it is everything he likes. It is everything I love. It is golf. It is lake. It is beautiful. It is high class. It's leather couches, fireplaces, big windows that overlook the lake. Man, I'm going to tell you what, just this side of heaven for me. The Lake Oconee area is just this side of heaven for me. So I started to dream different. I always wanted to live on a golf course. I always wanted to live on a golf course. I always wanted that was a part of my life that my grandmother gave me years and years and years ago that I loved, and I always wanted to do that, but never could afford it. Never did believe it. Never could achieve it. Right? If I can't believe it, it wasn't anything that was ever in my. I was a police officer, for the love of Pete. I made $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year. The most I ever made was $60,000, and I worked probably 90 hours, a week to achieve that. But that night at the Ritz, driving back to Hartwell, I looked at Christy in the car and I said, man, we got to buy a house down here. Because I'd gone back in the back and I pulled all the things for rentals, and I looked at all the golf courses and all the houses, and I had all that stuff in the car, and I said, baby, we got to buy a house down here. And just out of the blue, she said, what if we open an office down here? So we drive back to Hartwell that night. We're in Hartwell. We're probably up till 3 a.m. Every domain name was available. Every single thing we wanted to do was available. That's the night we changed the name from Exit Realty Results or Exit Landmark Realty to Exit Realty Lake Country. That's the night that this was born. I got children now talking about this. That's the night this was born, and it came out of nowhere. So I fly back to Tennessee, and from Monday to Wednesday, we had an approved franchise in Greensboro, Georgia. Done, finished, absolutely, signed off and approved on. I'm sitting in a training. I get a text message on my phone from Stacy Strobel, the regional owner. She says, corporate's approved it. You're good to go. 2 days. So when I go, man, sorry, I'm tight. Trying to collect myself here. So we come to Lake Oconee not knowing anybody. We come to Lake Oconee and open this office down here with nothing but a dream, nothing but understanding and having a belief that we can make a difference, that we can do something big down here, that we, Aaron and Christy, and this new Exit Realty Lake Country can be a world changer in Greensboro, Georgia. That's what we believe. Open up the office, doing all the stuff, trying to get everything figured out, working our tails off to put it together and get it done. And it's gorgeous, and it's fantastic, and we have a grand opening. But then it kind of falls flat. We're just kind of there. We can't get anybody to buy into our dream. We can't get anybody to buy into what we're doing. We're coming in here and trying to do things, and it's just not working. And should we keep it open? Should we do this? Should we do that? And then Milledgeville comes up because we are in Greensboro. The Milledgeville conversation happens. That starts. So we get Milledgeville. But Wednesday night, after the meeting, we went to a casino night at the Lake Oconee Bistro where we did our awards event back in 2019, I think. 2020, before the pandemic, maybe 2019, maybe 2019. Is that right? I don't remember. A couple years ago, we do a casino night at the Lake County Bistro, and you'll see some pictures. Heather Braswell and Michelle Tilson and Alex and Camellia and Jamal was there. Me and Christy were there. Michelle Tilson was there. Christian Seabolt was there. Who else was there? Y'all, when we got to the Lake County Bistro on Wednesday night, and we saw the collection of our agents, there were probably 10 or 11 of us, 12 of us there. Biggest group there. The biggest group there. There was not another company with another group that had more people represented than Exit Realty Lake Country. So in a few short years, an event at Lake Oconee, Exit Realty Lake Country walks in the front door, and Christy's not here, so I can say this. And Michelle, is Violet there? Because this is the feeling that I got when we got there. The feeling that I could, and I promise you, our group looked fantastic. I mean, looked fantastic. So when Exit Realty Lake Country came in the door on Wednesday night, it was, what up, bitches? We're here. Y'all move out of the way. And we really took over that back. I mean, it was us in that back room, and y'all had the whole poker table. I mean, and I look and I try to appreciate that event, and I appreciate that the progress that we're making, knowing that the impact and the people that saw us down there were like, huh. Trey Daniels, who works at Atlanta Fine Homes, Sotheby's, I think he's in Atlanta Fine Homes, Sotheby's rep, and we've been seeing Trey a lot. I mean, we've been seeing him. I mean, Lake Oconee's not that big, Greensboro's not that big. That circle's kind of small. But man, he was all over Christy. He was all over me. He's just talking the whole, and I'm just, and then we saw a Waffle House at like 1:00 in the morning. We're making an impact. It's not probably in the way that I had envisioned, in my counterfeit self and the ego self. It's not the way that I saw it, but it's happening. We are making an impact. People are watching what we're doing. They are seeing what we're doing. And then I get to Thursday. And we get to the office on Thursday. Christy, Kate has this idea, bounces it off of some of our leadership in the company, and says, what if we do, because we've been fighting this onboarding thing for 3 years. How do we get somebody to come in to our company, truly get them to buy into what we're doing, but at the same time, give them some foundational pieces to help them be really successful in this business? How do we do this? Because Aaron and Christy just can't be everywhere all the time. So how do we do this? And we've been fighting this thing. We've been trying to wrangle this onboarding monster for 3 years. And Christy's done a fantastic job just putting little pieces here, little pieces there, little piece here, little piece there. I, on the other hand, want it to be done, right? I want to wake up. I know I talk to y'all about this all the time, and I kind of get on you about this all the time, but I'm the guy who wants to push the microwave, and I want to wake up on Tuesday, and it's done. And then we walk out on Tuesday, everything's perfect. That's really what this little guy over here, my counterfeit self, wants. Even though I've got tons of experiences in the past that say that's not the way this works. It's not that way. It's going to be some blood, sweat, and tears. It's going to be some busted up knuckles. It's gonna be that. Anything great is going to go through that process. So we sit there on Thursday morning and use 6 newish agents as guinea pigs, with another 6 or 7 of our leaders, some of our best folks right behind them, supporting them. And we kick this thing off. And I couldn't be more proud. I couldn't be prouder. I promise you, I could not have been prouder sitting in that room with 6 wonderful new agents who are going to go out and change the world around them, with 7 leaders behind them who are doing everything in their power to change their world. And to think that little old me and little old Christy are blessed with the opportunity to speak into your life. Man, that's a special, special thing. And so I am overcome with appreciation on Friday morning, August the 19th. I'll just be honest with you. I am overcome with appreciation. I really, really am. So I'm trying not to, Alex. It's all over me. I mean, I'm not joking, man. It's been on me for a couple of days, but this morning, man, I'm sincerely overcome with appreciation. So it goes back to my question. What if it's all true? What if it's all true that we really are creators? We really are the masters of our own fate. We really have the ability to change our direction, alter our destiny. We really do have the ability to not just be reactors to situations, not just be responders to events on the outside. But what if it's true that we really have the ability to make it exactly what we want it to look like? What if that's true? What if it's true that if you truly had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could move a mountain? What if that's really true? What if you really believe that? Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. She said I can cry. It is we're I'm telling you, we are headed in a direction, y'all, that we are headed in a direction. Vanessa, look at this, y'all. The fact that y'all put prayer cards in our bags made me realize I was right where I needed to be. No other company does that. We got a message from Melissa Parks yesterday. She actually used one of her prayer cards. I didn't know y'all were doing that. That's super, super special. That's super, super cool. Um, yeah, I love y'all. What if it's true? What if believing, not hoping, but what if believing? What if faith, the kind of faith where I plop down all 200 and some odd pounds of me on this chair because I believe it's going to hold me up? What if all what if what Jesus said is true and you believe in me and have everlasting life? What if you believed you were created in God's image? What if you believed that you could move mountains? What if you believed there was nothing that was impossible for you? What would your life look like? Because the challenge that we face here on this earth is we operate in this counterfeit self. We operate in this person who doesn't like to be rejected. We operate in this thing that doesn't, in fear and in being scared, and we don't really believe necessarily in what we say we believe in. We believe in something we hope will come true. We believe in something that, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We asked Alex the other day in the meeting. Now that Alex volunteered to talk, we asked Alex in the meeting, when you came here, did you believe in X? And she said, I hoped it was going to be true. And that kind of in this kind of emotion, I hoped it was going to be true. Hope and belief are two different things. Would you agree with that? Because you can hope to be successful. You can hope to make it to the grocery store. You can hope that your kids will make it home from school. Those aren't living a life based on hope is a very stressful situation. It's a very stressful ask. But when you believe that you're going to make it to the grocery store, when you believe your kids are going to make it home from school, when you believe you're going to accomplish everything that you set out to accomplish, that's a wholly different emotion. What if it's true? What if it's true that we're not just responders to circumstances, that our life is not a collection of random experiences that mold and shape us? But what if our life is actually has been set up and you've been given all these different indications and all these different clues and all these different pushes and nudges that you have the ability to create exactly what you want? You have the ability to live a life in peace. You have the ability to, and can build a life built on security. You have a life. You have the ability to create a life built on love. You have the ability to get along with your spouse and believe hope against hope and belief in belief that everything's going to work out for you in the end. You have a belief that all things work for good. You have a belief that you could move a mountain if it was necessary. What if you lived your life that way? What if you could create those kinds of beliefs? And what if your screen door, the thing, your filter that you look at the world through, what if it was all based in belief of your unbelievable superpowers? Steve Morris always says our imagination's our biggest superpower. What if you could turn that imagination into belief? What if you just imagine things? How many of you have sat and imagined recently? I'm telling you, even though it's annoying as crap sometimes, and it gets on my nerves because he's so loud when he does it. When I'm in Tennessee and it's my week with Jagger, he will go in the garage. He will put a speaker out there. He will turn the music up so every neighbor in Mount Juliet can hear what he's playing in the garage. And I can hear him announcing, now, number 91, Jagger Dwyer. He's announcing his lineup, skating out on the ice in an NHL game. He's doing the announcing. And number 91, he is living in an imaginary world, and he's envisioning, he can see that he's on the ice in an NHL game and he's scoring goals. And as much as I'm sitting on the couch and the music's rattling the walls, and I'm like, dude, turn that crap down. At the same time, I'm thinking that from an ego, I want him to do that. I want him to be in his imagination. He's 10. I want you to be in your imagination. I want you to believe and feel what that feels like. I want you to be there. That's why all these experiences that Christy talks about, that's why we do these things, right? Christy mentioned this the other day. Being able to have the ability to create experiences for your family, for your children. Do you understand how powerful that is? Do you understand how powerful it is when your kids, Lainey's a perfect example. Christy had the ability through her effort and her work to take Lainey to foreign places, to other countries. She's done mission trips. She's been to the Dominican, been to England. She's seen some things, right? That expanded Lainey's vision. That expanded Lainey's worldview. That expanded Lainey's belief in herself, being exposed to those things. Our ability to create a life in this business, our ability to create a life where we can provide those experiences to our families, where we can create memories. I'm telling you, for me, I've never been out of the country until Christy and I met. I got a passport when I thought I was going to Iraq, but never used it. and didn't go out of the country until Christy and I met. But doing that expands my worldview. Doing that for a 10-year-old to a 12-year-old to a 13 or 14-year-old creates a different foundation that they'll build their life on. I didn't grow up that way. The best thing I ever did was go to Destin, Florida. That's the best thing I ever did when I was a kid. So my worldview isn't as big, it's not as grand as Laney's. Created by a foundation by her mother created that foundation for her. Laney's belief in herself is different than my belief in me was at 21. Laney's belief in herself, I can use our two daughters. Laney's belief in herself is different than Caitlin's belief in herself. And I believe this with everything that I am, that Laney's belief in herself and her self-confidence was created through a series of experiences, a series of raising, the mother that she had, what she saw, what she modeled herself after in her mother. Truly believe that. So what if it's all true? What if what I'm telling you is true? What if the only thing limiting you from being the highest and best version of you, from achieving that dream, from doing that thing, making 100,000, making 300,000, taking that trip, buying that house? What if the only thing stopping you was your ability to imagine and believe? What if it was stopping you? I've said this to you 1,000 times. A lot of you don't use Boomtown. A lot of you will not use Boomtown religiously. I tell you all the time, get in Boomtown, it's going to make you money. Get in Boomtown, it's going to make you money. Do this, this, and this. It's going to make you money. I gave those 6 agents yesterday. I gave you a chore of 20 names. 20 names, 20 phone calls, 20 handwritten cards, 20 follow-ups, and I told you that you'd get a deal out of that. What if you really believe that? What if you really, really believed that in those 20 names, there was going to be a transaction? What if you believed it was a $100,000 transaction? Think about that a minute. Would that be worth it? What if you believed there was $1 million transaction in those 20 names? Would that increase your motivation? What if I told you that working in Boomtown every single day, if you just stay in Boomtown, you're going to make $300,000 a year, I guarantee you. Or better yet, what if I told you every day you're in Boomtown, and I can go into Boomtown, I can look and see you're doing business, I would give you $50. Every time I saw you in there, I'd give you $50. You get immediate gratification, $50. Would that motivate you to do it? See, we believe in those things that we get immediate gratification from. We are able to believe the things. Again, if I jump off my house, I believe I'm going to hit the ground, right? My belief in hitting the ground is much stronger than my belief in my ability to fly. Even though flying would be fantastic, and even though flying would get me from place to place so much faster than driving, my belief in hitting the ground, my belief in gravity, my belief in that is so much stronger than my belief in flying. What if your belief in succeeding was bigger than your belief in failing? What if your belief in doing the thing that you know you want to do in your heart was bigger than believing you can't do it? Anna Davis, what if believing right now, and I'm calling you out because you brought this to me and you said you're going to do something because you got 2 days left. What if your belief that your health was going to be 1,000,000% better when you quit smoking than your fear of quitting smoking? What if that belief was bigger than the fear of quitting? What if it was true? What if it was true that your life is not a collection of random events? What if you truly believe that your life is a collection of experiences to help direct you to your highest and best self? I now have experiences. Wednesday night was another confirmation for me that all the things that I believe, it confirmed. It literally is $50 for being in Boomtown. Wednesday night was somebody giving me $50 to go into Boomtown that day. I believe on believe on believe on believe, and I'm stacking belief. I'm stacking belief. I'm stacking belief. I'm stacking belief. Every time something like that happens, and I see an event like that with us there. I watched that Brasstown video again yesterday for the first time. That's the first time I've watched it in probably 3 or 4 months. And I watched that Brasstown video, and the emotions just overwhelm me all over again. Because I see the culmination. I see everybody coming together. I watch you guys loving on each other, being in that spot. I want to do it tomorrow. But belief gets stacked on belief and gets stacked on belief and gets stacked on belief. And every time I go to a boundary and I go to a limit and I push past that limit, my limits change. 4:45 this morning, I ran farther than I ran the first day I started. I didn't have to walk as soon. So every single day I get up and do that, I push my limits a little bit more. And y'all, that's nothing. I said this to Anna and Christy yesterday as we were riding to the meeting. This 4:45 thing, honestly, there's nothing special about getting up at 4:45 other than it's awful. And nobody wants to get up at 4:45 because it sounds ridiculous. But there's really, truly nothing special about getting up at 4:45 except for the fact that it's creating a habit in me. It's creating a pattern in me. It is showing me that I have the ability to push past my discomfort. That even though something's uncomfortable, even though there's something I don't really want to do, even if it's something that really, really sucks, I can get up and do it anyway. And I can keep doing it, and I can keep doing it, and I can keep doing it, and I can keep doing it until it becomes a habit. Now I'll tell y'all, right now at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, y'all saw me yesterday or the other day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this old boy gets sleepy because I've put in a long day already. And sometimes I got to catch a nap, but that's okay. Naps are good for you. I think it's scientifically proven that a good nap is good for you. What's up, boy? But I'm stacking belief every single morning, a belief. Every single morning I go to a limit. Every single morning I push past the limit. Every single morning I go a little further. Every single morning I do a little bit more. Every single morning I go a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. And what that's doing is training me, my counterfeit self, helping me believe nothing's impossible. Helping me believe if I keep this up, I might be able to run 5 miles. Heck, if I keep this up, I might be able to run 13 miles. Who knows? I might make this a habit and one day run the marathon that's on my bucket list. But it starts with not being able to run 100 yards. It starts with wheezing and coughing and hacking, running into a skunk. It starts with get up at 4:45 having to splash cold water on my face because I got to wake up. It starts with embracing that piece of it. What if it's true? What if it's true that today, what you're going to experience from right now until the time you go to sleep are nothing more than indicators, nothing more than guardrails, nothing more than little nudges towards your higher purpose? And if you'll look at today with your eyes wide open, and you'll look at today with your heart wide open, and not just go through today in an habitual pattern of behavior that you have done every single day, not an habitual pattern of behavior that you've done and made that part of your existence and part of your life. What if today you looked at Friday, August the 19th with your heart wide open and your eyes wide open, and you looked for opportunities to be your best version? To be the best you, your real true self. What if what I'm telling you is true? Hell, I don't know if it is or if it's not. I know I'm sitting in a house right now that 5 years ago, there wasn't a chance in heck you're gonna tell me, well, maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago, it was happening. But I'm sitting right now in a house. There's a lake right out there with a dock that's ours. That 7 years ago, you couldn't have convinced me for anything in the world this was possible. 10 years ago, I'd have called you crazy as hell. 10 years ago, I would have been envious and jealous and angry at whoever owned this house. But belief after belief, after experience, after this, after that, those things all put this thing together. And now I'm sitting in my house. You don't think this didn't push a limit? You don't think this didn't push a limit a little bit? That now that this has happened, I know there's something else possible. There's something bigger than this possible. And not a house, but the impact, but an experience, but a reach, y'all. Life is a collection of experiences, not random events that happen to us that we respond and react to. I truly believe that we are created with a purpose, created with a spark, created with a destiny, created with a downloaded set of this is where you're supposed to go. And this life, bad. Lynn Grizzle told a story Wednesday. I'm telling you, there were times in her life when I'm sure she wanted to she wanted to throw in the towel. And there were times in Lynn Grizzle's life when she said, you know what, this just ain't working for me. I'm telling you, I've had times in my life where I've looked in the mirror and said, dude, this ain't working. This life thing for you is not going well. You might need to shut this bad boy down. I've had those times in my life. We all have these moments in our lives where we look around and it doesn't look like we think it ought to look. When we struggle with what we see. And I'm challenging you right now, Friday, August the 19th, to believe with your heart, to believe with your soul. Don't believe with your eyes. What if it's true? What if it's true that you have the ability to do something great? What if it's true that you are a world changer? What if it's true that you're going to change the destiny of not only your family, but families around you? What if it's true that this real estate thing's a platform to you to create a legacy in your family that'll live on for generations? What if that's true? What if it's true that Exit Realty Lake Country could be the #1 real estate company in every single one of our markets? What if it's true that Exit Realty Lake Country could be on a magazine, of a realtor magazine, a national publication that talks about what we're doing and how we're changing the real estate industry? What if that's true? What if it's true that Aaron and Christy Dwyer get interviewed by Inman because the story is so big of what we're doing and the lives that we're changing that we get interviewed by a national public? What if that's true? What if it's true that we get to stand up on a stage and speak to brokers all over the world about what we're doing? What if that's true? What am I willing to believe? What are you willing to believe? What are you willing to commit to? What are you willing to stop hoping for and start truly believing in? What if you really did? What if you really could move mountains? I want to read one thing to you. If I can see through my tears, I'm going to try to read this. Whew. Lord. All right, here's my next book. It's The Everyday Hero. Same dude. Say Robin Sharma, the guy that wrote the 5 a.m. Club. This is the next book, The Everyday Hero Manifesto. This is a good spot to leave this on. And this is a great way to leave this call today and give you guys, I'm gonna read some comments. So Millie said it's true and it's coming. Heck yeah, Millie. Lynn said it's true. We can change lives one relationship at a time. She said, Lynn says, I sit in a room with him several nights a week, leading men and women on the journey to sobriety and healing. It's true. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Here you go. Plug into this. We got 5 minutes. I'm gonna plug into this. This is what I'm gonna leave you with today. Sip and See tomorrow. I would venture a guess that everybody's invited to come by. Maybe all of you are, I'm sure. Exit Realty Lake Country Nation, you need to call me. But all our agents, you're definitely welcome. So, all right, y'all ready? Let's plug into this. I'm gonna read this, then we'll be done for the, because I think this is a great place to stop. And this, again, is from the Everyday Hero Manifesto by Ryan Sharma. This is for you. You get that world class really is less about your genetics and more about your habits. All heavyweight producers work really, really hard. You know the clock is ticking and that mastery postponed is genius denied. You know that you just can't afford to wait another day to step into the hero you've always imagined yourself being. Start today. Start today. Make it today. Start today. Develop the guts to play out on the edges of your powers. Because as you visit your limits expand. Activate the childlike part of you that was once wildly curious and constantly learning before you were schooled to play small and trained to think like everyone else, so that you can continually outgrow the person you currently are. Gauge your winning by the extent of your progress and never by the objects in your closet. Lead without a title, influence without a position, and create the masterwork that exemplifies the promise that nature invested in you. Remember that the easiest path is generally the poorest route. That one's pretty good. The easiest path is generally the poorest route. And action delayed is greatness betrayed. Action delayed is greatness betrayed. What if it's all true? What if it's true? So many wonderful things coming. I'm telling you, there's so many wonderful things coming for you and your family. There's so many wonderful things coming for this company. There's so many things coming for us as a community, as a company, as a family. So many things coming. We love y'all to the ends of the earth. We love you with everything we are. Christy and I both, and Coop, he's over there too. So be good, be great, be you. Have a fantastic weekend. And if we don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Monday morning. Bye, y'all.